right, girls. Well, we rehearsed.
To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Everything you own in a box. To the left, in the closet. That's my stuff. Yes, if I bought it, say, don't touch.
Girl, we sound mad good.
What's poppin', everybody, and welcome back to my channel Lelona, and thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of Everything Lelona, where we talk about everything and anything, child. Now, if you are new here, welcome, baby. I really hope that you'll enjoy this video and that will make you hit that little subscribe button somewhere over here. And if you are a regular subscriber, a gang, day one, what's good, what's up, what is you, child? I really hope that you are well and that you are taking care of yourself. Okay. Now, before we go any further, please do not, absolutely not, continue from this moment going further without subscribing. Like, why would you do that? So please make sure to hit that little subscribe button somewhere here and also leave all of your comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up if you are excited for the story time. The story time is actually a story time that I mentioned in my last video. So in my last video, I had mentioned that I had a friendship breakup that I wanted to talk about, but I thought of that story because I was thinking about the friendship breakup. So if you didn't watch my previous story time, please do go back, watch the story time, come back to the story, and then, we can see. Even if you don't go back to that story time, but because I just want you guys to like build some anticipation and some suspense, but you don't have to, okay? But I do suggest you go watch the story time as well, just for just. But before going anywhere, grab yourself a little drinky, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And let's get into the video. So on my previous story time, I spoke about how I was mugged by someone that I liked, and then my cousin Brain did something stupid, and wada. So the story time is about Brain, okay? But in the story time, I'll be speaking about Pinky and Brain, because those two are brothers, okay? So Pinky and Brain are my cousins. They have the same father, but different mothers, So I grew up with Brain, and then I later on in my life met Pinky. So how that all happened, as mentioned, that Brain and I grew up together. We grew up together, we did everything together, went to church together, we like grew up together, okay? We were cousins, sharp. Now in the year 2010, I went to the mountain, So when I went to the mountain, Brain and I were going together, and then I was told that I'm gonna meet someone else when I get there. Now this person was Pinky. So they explained to me everything, because they went, like, let's say for example they went today, I then went the following day, so I found them there. So now after everything was done, I was just sitting in my hut, and someone walks in, and this person is Pinky. Pinky introduces himself and explains what's up. He is Brain's brother, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't know of him at that time. And then, because doing this whole thing together, we really grew close. Yonke lento yenzeka eBishop back home in the Eastern Cape. Now, we were doing matric, and we had just finished with our final exams while all of this is happening, because I went to the mountain after my matric final exams. The following year, I went to varsity. So Pinky went to Grahamstown, was in Grahamstown, and then Brain went to Cape Town, I went to PE. Then, this was 2011. And then 2012, Brain left Cape Town and went to Pretoria because his parents were moving from Ebisho going to Pretoria. They left, and then Pinky as well moved down from Cape Town to Pretoria and went to TUT. Now, during our second year, I was like talking about how I really am not enjoying the course I was doing, and I wanted to change it. So I had then applied for the course that I wanted to do, back in PE, and they accepted me for the year 2013. To start with the course in the year 2013. Now I'm already doing my second year. It's 2012 now. And then Pinky is like, Brain to me is like, listen, I left Cape Town and I came to Pretoria and in the TUT now. No. So what if I apply for you here? See if they can't accept you for a second semester intake, yabo? And this means that you will not have to start in the year 2013 with the course that you want. You can actually start with it in the year 2012, but in July. So you start your second semester and you'll have to move from Eastern Cape to Pretoria, which is how Pretoria happened. Yabo? Nyanike sent him my stuff, he applied for me, I got accepted, told my parents, and they were like, not a problem, you can relocate essentially. Yabo? So I relocated and left Eastern Cape and I came to Pretoria. Now, when I moved to Pretoria, I obviously moved in with him and his parents. Yabo? Now, at this time, Upinky is still in Grahamstown. Yabo? Tina ke ngoku, it's me and Brain in Pretoria. I live with Brain and his parents. Yabo? Sharp. Good. Now, when I left Eastern Cape and I was coming to Pretoria, there's a guy that I was kind of seeing. Like, I wasn't seeing this man, yes? Like, to be honest, I wasn't seeing this man. I was seeing him, but I wasn't seeing him, if you get what I mean. This guy owned a club in East London, and I met him because when I got accepted to come to Pretoria, I then had to stop my studies because there could need, because it was like March, and Kutua, I've been accepted to start in July at TUT. So what's the point for me to continue with my studies in PE and finish the semester if Desayeka anyway the course, yabo? So I stopped in March and I moved to East London with my sister. So while I was living with her, there was a man that I met, and he was like kind of entertaining me, but it wasn't anything sexual. He liked me, I liked him, but nothing sexual happened with him. Yabo? Sharp. So I was seeing this guy and I moved to Pretoria. So him and I were like talking every day. So I'd be like sitting with Brain and his parents. My phone would ring. I'd go out to the balcony, talk for like 30 minutes, laughing and what. At this time, Brain and I had not come out to each other. So he didn't know I was gay. I didn't know if he was gay or straight or non-binary or whatever. Yeah, but I just didn't know his sexuality. I thought he was straight, even though my gay dad told me that Brain is gay. Yeah, but like I knew he was gay, but I didn't know, if you get what I mean. I had assumed his sexuality. I knew. And I think because he spent a lot of time with me, he knew. Like, people who were close to me are lying if they said they didn't know. Yeah, they are lying. So I'd like constantly be talking to like this guy on the phone, laughing, yonke lando. Brain would be so curious as to who are you talking to? But obviously I couldn't tell him because we weren't like that with each other. Yeah, we weren't out to each other. So he became very curious about who I was talking to. And I think that you could pick up from, you know how phones could be like, can be loud when you're talking on the phone, but someone who's not on this phone call could hear, that's a man or that's a woman or whatever. Yeah, so I think you could pick up those things. So one night we were sleeping. So in our bedroom or his bedroom, there were two single beds. So this was his bed, this was my bed. Excuse me, we slept on like different beds, yeah, sharp. So now my alarm was set for 5 o'clock, yeah, we're sleeping, and then ndivi alarm yami ringa, but my phone ihlala phansi komqamelo. But xa ndiva iringa, ndiva le phone iringa like on the other bed, yabo. I am very much awake. I was just waiting for my phone to ring, if you get what I mean, yabo. So I can hear my phone ring and my alarm going off. It's not on my bed, under my pillow where I had left my phone. Now I open my eyes, I see my phone flying to my chest. So essentially, Brain lo olele on the other side of the bed came to my bed, took my phone and went through my phone, and obviously he saw conversations with this guy and I. So he put 2 and 2 together and 3 was the answer. You understand? 2 plus 2 is 3, ne? No, yeah, whatever it. But he put 2 and 2 together and he got the answer he was looking for. Wa ndi tormenta brain with this information that he has now miraculously found out about me. Yabo, tormenta ngayo sana. Like we would be sitting with his parents and I'd be on my phone pressing. Now this guy's name started with an S, yabo. So abeza velati ngu S low. Like athi ngu S low otita naye up, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Because also when I saw my phone flying to me, my phone literally landed on my chest. I looked at my phone was on Facebook Messenger, which is where our conversations with this guy were happening. So I saw that, okay, he had my phone, he saw the text, he knows. But I wasn't gonna ask him about it, yeah, because you know, so ask me about it. Now I've been hiding it from you because I didn't want you to know. So now that you know, ask me about it. But he didn't. So I'd be chatting to this guy. He'd like constantly make remarks about, oh, you chatting to S. Did you get like yeah, but like I just give him snacks looks on some the back. So that happened for a while up until I was like, listen, I wasn't hiding this. Ne? I just wasn't telling you. That's it. I know that you know that I'm dating US and that's fine. It is what it is and it's like that. Let's just stop with the childishness. Yeah, boy. So after I had the conversation with him, he also came out to me. Yeah, boy. He's like, listen, I've been doing what I was doing because I was projecting, blah, 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 blah. Like it was a very vulnerable conversation. He opened up to me. He told me that he was just projecting, because he can see me and he can see that I see him, but we are not talking about it, which is why he was doing what he was doing. I was like, fair, yeah, bro? Fair enough, I get you, and that's fine, let's move on. So him and I moved on from that conversation, and now that he knew, I was like telling him more, opening up about what's going on with this guy, was very confused, blah, 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 blah. Now, him and I went to the same school, yabo. So at school, he did not have a lot of friends. Or he didn't have friends at all. We were in the same building. Like I would literally see him with one person today, see him with another person the following day, and all of these people aren't his friends. Like I'd ask him, it's someone from my class, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Now, these people that he was like hanging out with were just like his classmates, not his friends, because he did not have friends, which was fine. He didn't have to have friends. But one thing about me, I'm a social person, so I made friends very fast. I had a very like huge group of friends. I was close with like a lot of my friends, which I recently made. So instead of me living campus with him when we go back home, because he lived in the east of Pretoria and school was in the west of Pretoria, so we would like use taxis going back home. In the morning his mom would take us to school, and then in the afternoon we'd have to take a taxi going back home. So I would like not live with him, leave late, and no. So I was constantly out with my friends, kumnand, and then eventually I started dating someone. So now to him, it looked as though these months, I am making strides more than him. Yeah, so because he started in Jan, I started in July, and he's been there longer, but he's struggling with making friends. I'm not. And like he kind of had an issue about it because he would constantly raise ezo zinto zokubana, oh no, he's out with his friends. Like whenever I'd speak about, or like I'd be on the phone, he'd just make snarks remarks. Or if I'm just chatting to my friends, he kind of had a problem with certain things, and me having friends, he would always make remarks ngayo ba mna I am neglecting him, or mna I am always out with my friends, mna I don't pay attention to him. So he had a problem with it, yabo, and he expressed it, but there was nothing I could do. I am a social person and I am allowed to have friends outside of you. As much as you and I are cousins, but you and I are still very good friends, and at the time, best friends. Yabo, sharp. So I started dating, and then my life now was very social because the guy I was dating was an actor, so he was always invited to like events, and he would want to go with me to these events. Now I was constantly out late. Whenever I come back, I call him, he opens for me, and I would tell him about this interesting event I went to, how fun it was, and now, O'Brien became really, really, really jealous, not of the people in my life, but of me having this life. You understand? He got really jealous. He started acting shady towards me. And like, I didn't have a problem with it. Then, so I think now I had been in Pretoria for like 3 months. Yeah, boy? I'd been in Pretoria for 3 months, and then Kutiwe Pinky is coming. Pinky and I have kept in contact from 2010 till 2012. Yabo, still to date, we like kept in contact. We were still very good friends. We were still very like cool with each other. Him and I were still very close since this year and I mean together. Sharp. Now, Kutwe Pinky, he's gonna come. He's moving to Pretoria next year. He's starting a TUT as well. Now, Edlini, it's me, Brain, and his parents. Then Pinky arrives. It's me, Pinky, Brain, and the parents. Yabo, sharp. Now, now Pinky and I grew really, really, really close because at this time, Brain is very jealous of my life, ne? So things between us are very kuna friction. Kuna friction between him and I. So Pinky and I, we built a very, very strong bond and strong connection. And now whenever Brain sends us into, because one thing about Brain, he did a lot of stupid shit. Like stupid nonsense with like, we would be sent to the shops to go buy, say, stuff which are on a list. His mom would write a list specifically of what she wants. Things as a kitchen, food and stuff like that. Though Brain was the one who cooked a lot because he enjoyed cooking, his mom was the one buying groceries, right? She would send us to go buy these groceries. Give us a card, give us a list of things as should happen. Brain was afika pie shop and buy ezinye izinto which aren't on the list. Literally neglect the list and buy everything which is not on the list. When Pinky and I now then voice out to mana ndwana asithunyanga ezi zinto apha, like these aren't the things we were sent to buy, he would get angry at the both of us and then accuse us of ganging up on him. Yabo? So whenever we corrected his behavior together, right, he would always say that him and I, Pinky and I, are ganging up on him, which was far from the truth because he just did stupid nonsense all the damn time and he didn't want anyone to tell him. Even his parents could not tell him what to do. No one could tell him what to do. Abes laula, we would be sent to the shops, and then withdraw. Like, why are you withdrawing money from your mom's account and then not tell her? You are basically stealing from your own mother. Yabo? So like he would do such stuff, and when we correct him, evil. Like, how could we correct him? Because yena, he knows more than we do. Now it's been September. That's when Pinky arrived. Sometime in October, I decided to find an apartment and leave. Yabon? So I left Payan. I left, found a place in Arcadia. I moved to Arcadia. It was me and my other cousin, Uspelele, who is in the Eastern Cape. We got an apartment there. Now, things between Brain and I think things now started going back to normal because we weren't in each other's spaces 24/7. Yeah, well, so he wasn't seeing my going out. He wasn't seeing me coming back late. I wasn't telling him much about my love life, which I guess him not knowing made him less jealous, if that makes sense. But yeah, so things between him and I became cool again. Yeah, well, all of us are in the same school, same campus. We will seeing each other on a daily basis on campus. We just greet each other. Hey, meet up here. Lunchtime, we meet up, buy romance, we buy pizza. They go to class, I go to class. So, now, I also made friends where I stayed. And I was going out with my friends quite a lot. And then I told them that, guys, if you want to go out, and then we'll go out. So it became a thing in Dowana. On Fridays, they would come over to my place, sleep over. We would go out, blah, 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 blah. For the weekend, they'd go back home on Sunday. Sharp. Now, yenzeka into Yobana. Backstory. Remember, Pinky and Brain don't have the same mother, right? So Pinky and Brain are the same age. I'm not going to get into the family dynamics or what. Pinky and Brain are born in the same year, 1992. Same year. But Brain lived with the mom and the dad. Pinky lived with his mom. So where Pinky comes from, you can regard it as disadvantaged. So compared to where Brain comes from. Brain lived in the burbs. Pinky lived in the Kasi type of thing. So, according to Brain, Pinky comes from a disadvantaged background. Now, this will come because I'm explaining this because I want to go to a point. Now, the first time that they met my friends, Ababahlala Clay Building in Arcadia, we got drunk. They were my friends. There was also Ulindo. I spoke about Ulindo in my previous video. Ulindo is my friend from high school. So Ulindo was there as well. So now as we're talking and drinking and having fun, and Brain now starts talking about Pinky. And he's like, Lona elapanje e Pretoria uzengam. Apply ndime TUT. He's talking about Pinky. Like, how do you say that about your own brother? Like, how do you say such stuff? Now, this became a thing, but whenever we are out, we are drinking together, there are new people. He would always make sure, he puts Pinky down. Because Pinky had the same personality as me, very outgoing and very social. He was like a social person the same way I am. Like he found it very easy to make friends. We'd be out with total strangers or meet people at a club. We'd start talking to them and him, Pinky and I would just hit it off with Amabantu. Brain would take a lot of time to like warm up to people and people took a long time to warm up to him. So also that made him really jealous of us. Sharp. So now it became a thing in the Kubana. Brain, whenever we are out and there's new people in the group, we are and uzatsta about how Pinky is the upper because of him and he's the one that brought him here. Why? Why do you do this? So it became a thing. Now that one night, which is the previous video I did when we went to La Cantina and then we got mugged. So we met those guys at Rhapsodies, went out with them to La Cantina. And then at the end of the night, they mugged us. And they baskhama, baschoka, bastranglisha, sapasa outi, and there was that, right? Remember, in the car, there was Brain. Brain saw everything that happened. At the back, there was Gulindo and the other friend of ours. I forgot her name, Usiki, yes. So it was Usiki as well as Ulindo at the back of the buggy. So they were sleeping there. Sharp. Now, all of that happened. Brain sees us getting mugged. He does nothing. We fall to the ground because they choked us. They strangled us, and he did not give a damn. Okay? Brain did not give a living shit about what was happening. Nyanike, we get up, I wake Dinewa up, we get into the car, we drive back to my place. Now guys, I think the Funochaya actually, before I continue with the story, because it is so triggering. The story is triggering because I'm really like I've been in my feels about the way Brain moved. Brain moved really, really weirdly. And these are things that happened throughout the years. Yabo? Like throughout our adult life as like young students, we had just gotten to university, yonke lanto. So this was us now getting into adulthood, but he moved really weirdly. And he was someone that I was really fond of. And the fact that he was able to watch us getting choked, getting strangled, and not in the good way, right? Not in the good way, in the way that we all like, but he watched all of that happening. He saw us fall to the ground, did nothing, absolutely nothing. I am convinced that this man hated me, okay? Like, he hated me, J. So, like what happened, came. We got back to my place. We are now sitting there. It's me. It's Dinewo, the girl who was also strangled and choked. It's the two guys that we were with who are our friends. It is Pinky. It is Siki. It is Lindo. And then it's the guy Abemfasile Brain. And then it's my cousin, the one that I lived with. So there was like 9 people in the house. So we got back, we still have alcohol. Like, we were marked, guys. It happened. We are over it. Let's continue with the night. Now, remember, in the group now, there's a new person, which is this guy that he came back with from the club. I go to the bedroom because I don't know what I was doing in the bedroom or who I was talking to. I think it wasn't Siki. It has to be one of the straight guys that we were with who are our friends. I think we went to the bedroom to talk about something. I don't know, but I went to the bedroom. All I heard was wow, noise, people talking, and then a vase falling to the floor and breaking. That's when I came out of my bedroom. I was like, guys, it was a stressful night. So I walk out. When I get to the lounge, I see Ubana Ulindo and Brain aren't there. And Usiki and the others who are still here are like, so Brain had left with the man that he was with. So I'm like, what's going on? Kutiwe, Brain was causing drama, but abacho ndoni, but upumile, he stormed out, wapuma with Ulindo. Now, I quickly run out and I go downstairs because I know him. Very, very, very temperamental. Very short-tempered guy. So I quickly go downstairs. I get there. I'm like, what's going on? Because I could see Ulindo trying to calm him down. I'm like, what's going on? He looks at me, he's like, don't you dare Don't you dare act like you give a fuck when you've been fake since day one. I'm like, who? Me? Been fake since day one. Child, don't even. Do not even. And I was like, wait here. Child, I came back wearing my glasses because I was about to read this bitch. Because reading is fundamental. Came back with glasses, not and I read that bitch. I was like, don't you even dare call me fake, because there has been nothing fake about me and everything fake about you. Uyabo? So namqala from like the first incident that has ever happened between him and I read him. And then the end of that conversation, or the end of that back and forth, because he was reading me too, child, okay? He wasn't just accepting my reads. He was reading me back. And what came out of that, he was like, ungazuphinde ulibeke ekhaya. That is like, I give a fuck about ekhaya lakho. Antiko wenu mna. Like at this time I'd moved out, right? It's been like 6 months of us sihlalela with my cousin. I wasn't going to his house as often as I did when I lived there. Yabo? Like I wasn't going to his place. So he's like, ungazuphinde uze ekhaya. Ndathi say less, child. And I never went back to kulo pink and playing. Nyani, I go back upstairs. I'm like fuming. I'm like, Uteni, what happened? Tell me what happened. Because at this time I didn't know what happened. All that happened is that I went downstairs to go sort out whatever was going on, and I was met with, you're fake. And I was like, child, who's fake? Me. So I reacted the way I reacted as well. We had our back and forth, and I didn't know what happened, what triggered all of this. I go back upstairs. I'm asking them, hey, but guys, what happened? Kaloku lo uqale lando yakhe kulo mfana wakhe behleli naye. Waqala that whole thing yokuthi telling people or telling this new person how poor Pinky was, how disadvantaged the background yakhe is, and how he's in Pretoria because of him. And I'm like, really? Really? Are we still doing that? Yabo? Kuthiwa uLindo called him out on this. Yabo? Ulindo called him out. Ukubana, why is it that you are constantly trying to make sure ukubana no one looks at Upinki? No one looks in his direction, because where now you are deeming him this poor person, and this person who comes from a background, a disadvantaged, and how you're the reason why he's here. Why do you always do this? And that's where this whole thing started. So I'm like, really, guys? Like, is this really what's going on? Sharp. Following day, Pinky goes home, because he can go back home because that's his home. He goes back home, and I tried reaching out to Brain because it's been now a couple of weeks since our incident. So I tried to reach out to him, and he's not taking my calls, he's not taking my texts, he's not returning my texts. And I was like, you know what? I couldn't. As much as our fight is now also compromising a relationship that I have with his parents, because I can't go there anymore and I can't tell them what's going on. Instead, I have to swallow yonke le yobana I'm the one who's not visiting. They would call, awungabe, awusazi apha, tithi ha kubhizi sisikolo type of thing, yabo. So I was like, it's really compromising a relationship yam with his parents. Reach out to him again. I'm telling him that, dude, listen, we had a moment. We were drunk, we were high, emotions were all over the place. A lot has happened. I'd like for us to squash this beef. Beef was never squashed. Instead, it was roasted. Now, his dad passed on a couple of years later, and I never even called the mom. I never even called him because the mom also had some funny tendencies, which I was like, ugh, I think this bitch didn't like me from the get-go. Because now what my tendencies is funny, because one thing about parents, they will choose their own kids over any child, over anyone else's child. And that's valid, right? That's valid. And I was like, I respect that, but okay, I'm out. So his mom also had some funny tendencies towards me, and that was that. Pinky and I are still going strong because Naye, he kind of had a fallout with his brother and the stepmom, but that's his story to tell, not my story. But him and I are still very close. I haven't seen Brain since that day. I'm lying. I saw Brain at La Cantina one time, like years later, looking like a hobo. He had a white t-shirt which looked like Ulala Ngayo Pansi. Guys, I was like, and he came over to my table and he's like, not table, but to where I was sitting with whoever I was sitting with. I think I was still with my ex. I was with my ex there, and he came, he's like, can't take it black. How do you ask me for a black? You understand? So it, like, if friendship breakup here to Sam has, like, it's solidified, we will never be friends. We will never be close ever again, because his dad died. I never said anything. My dad passed on. He never said anything, nor his mom has she ever said anything to me or to my mother. You understand? So it's like, it's an entire but that is the story of the worst friendship breakup that I have ever had. So if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a huge thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Let's talk about our friendship breakups. Let's just get into it, child. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel, share my videos. This wasn't a funny haha story, but it was a story that I wanted to like share with you guys. Yeah, so if you enjoyed it, please definitely do give it a thumbs up and use the super thanks. And to all of you guys who've been using it, I really appreciate you guys. I really do. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.